Hi everyone, it's Stephen from Valued. Welcome to our live session on Thursday, the 30th of April, otherwise known as the 531st day of April, it feels like. I don't know about you, but April is the longest month I seem to have ever had in my life. I seen a post on Facebook the other day where it was talking about March was like 500 days long, April was like 500 days long, and people were actually scared about what the heck was going to happen in May. I don't know. Let's see what happens. But what we thought we'd do today is a bit of a question and answer session, I guess, a bit of a discussion with Darren and myself, all about a blog post that we did on the Valued page. So www.yourvalue.co.uk, and then the blog section. We did a blog post all around supporting your family and your team throughout the lockdown. Very relevant to me as the business owner of Valued, but also extremely relevant to all of the team at Valued, the impact that the coronavirus, COVID-19 has had for them, but also the impact that it's had on many of our clients. Some of our clients are, as I said earlier on in this, some clients are actually really doing well. Others, because they're in industries that are supporting the NHS, or certain industries there that are going to do well in the lockdown time period. And we've got other clients that sadly have actually gone out of business. We heard about one earlier on today that sadly closed the door for the final time, which is absolutely heartbreaking to hear. Obviously, our thoughts go out to all of the people that have sadly passed away because of the coronavirus, but also the wonderful work that's been done by the NHS and all of the key workers throughout the country, especially shop workers for me as well. The NHS goes without saying, but shop workers, just those guys actually making sure that we can get the food that we need has been absolutely phenomenal. But actually, today is about supporting our families, our teams through the lockdown, our experiences of it. So it's a bit raw, it's a bit wild. We're not quite sure where it's going to end up with. If you've got any questions you want to ask, please post the questions below. I'm more than happy to be open and as honest as we can be throughout this. If anybody's got any questions about Valued, how we're working from home, if anyone's got questions about coronavirus and what we can do from a business point of view, we're happy to help there as well. But also, let's make this a bit of an interactive session as well. So if anybody's got some great ideas that they're doing, things that they're doing differently to help support their family and their team through the lockdown, then please do comment. Yeah, I'm going to use a couple of examples of some wonderful case studies that clients have been, some wonderful case studies of clients and what they've been doing different, and how they've been actually helping their businesses as well. So can I introduce Darren into the proceedings? Hi, Darren.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Yeah, I think this is an interesting session. Please say hi. Let us know you can hear and see us okay on the live. Just drop a couple of quick comments in there. Let us know that everything's okay from that perspective. We'd hate to be doing this and you couldn't hear us or you couldn't comment. Obviously, we try and share some comments through into the feed as well when they come through. But for many of you that have been following the business community page over the last few weeks, you will undoubtedly know that we've tried our hardest, our damnedest to get you updates on things as it happens. There's been a lot of information out there. We've been trying to digest it ourselves and put that back out to you. It's not all about putting out updates on a business perspective. It's trying to inject some good humour, some stuff with Jeff and Nigel that we've brought through. But equally, we spoke about it. Stephen and I spoke about this the other day. Hi, Kelly. Thanks very much for joining us. Great to have you on. If you can let us know you can hear us and see us, that would be great. But yeah, we spoke a little hard about this the other week when we were looking at some of the comms we wanted to put out. And we started with looking at some business continuity, which was useful. And I think we touched on it in the blog post as well, the specific one about supporting your family and your team through the lockdown. And that's, for us as a team of 15, 20 people now, that's had its own challenges. And I think we've been so busy firefighting, along with many of you, around this situation that we haven't really taken the opportunity to step back and kind of look at, what we've had to do as a business, how we've had to pivot, and the challenges that's also brought to us as well. So I suppose, yeah, there's a little bit of vulnerability here. But for many people that have spoken to me in the past, they'll know that I'm quite a fan of vulnerability, because once it's out there, it's good. And we can acknowledge some of the great stuff that we've done, but also some of the challenges. And I think also share with people how we've overcome those challenges and what that means for us. But equally, we don't want to be seen as people put on a pedestal. We're human at the end of the day. So if you guys can come back to us with some suggestions, some ideas, I think we're all burning the midnight oil at the moment, trying to stay on top of things and with the furlough and stuff. So yeah, it was just about getting to take 5 minutes out of the day and just talk about, how can we move from some of the firefighting now to, how do we focus on this? And the blog post itself, Stephen, I thought was really resonating with a lot of people, because it talks about, as business owners, as a father of two girls, as a husband, you've got to think so much more about them. You've got to think about others before you think about yourself. And one of the first comments we talk about is putting the oxygen mask on yourself. When you first get in, every time we get a flight somewhere, we sit through that in-flight briefing, and none of us take any notice of it. We've been there before. We may cursorily glance at the card in front of the seat back. But one of the things they say there is fit your own mask before you fit anyone else's, and I think sometimes we never do that. We just jump straight in. So, what is for you as a father, as a husband? What's been the key learning point for you in this process?
Wow,
that's a hell of a question, isn't it? Just bang out the blocks. There we go. As Nigel Risner said, keep it real. So I'm going to keep it real for you. There you go.
He talks about vulnerabilities, and he quite likes vulnerabilities.
There you go.
Straight away, bang, there you go. Thank you very much. For those of you that know me really well, my main priority is my wife, Kate, is my two kids, Lucy and Jessica. Lucy's 6-year-old, Jessica's 3-year-old. I sat in a pool, a swim pool in Disney last year in Animal Kingdom. I was so fortunate, so lucky to go there. And Lucy actually turned around to me in this pool, and I said, right, Lucy, wonderful, wonderful moment. Those moments that you have with your kids, yeah? And I sat there and I said, Lucy, if Daddy could get you anything in the world, what would it be? And I'm expecting a unicorn, something like that, a bit crazy, a bit wild. And she turned around and she broke my heart, right? She broke my heart by saying these words: can you get in a bit earlier on a night time? And I went, what? Right? And when you go, whoa, hang on a minute. Stabbers, right? Thank you for that. And I went, well, why? What difference does that make? And Kate was off with Jessica, and they were in the hotel room, and it was just the two of us in the swimming pool. What difference does that make? And she went, well, you say you're going to get in for 6 o'clock, but you don't really. You get in 7-ish. We'll have tea, and I'll go to bed, and I miss you. And I was just like, right, just drown me now. Thank you very much. So I came back, and I made it perfectly clear to all the team had valued that actually I was leaving office at 5 o'clock. I'd be home for 6 o'clock so I could have tea with Lucy, with Jessica, with Kate. I also decided that actually I wasn't going to make my first appointment at 9 o'clock in the morning. I was going to make my first appointment at 9:30, which actually meant that I could drop Lucy off at school, right? So in the period of September to lockdown, I dropped her off a million times more than I did last year at school, right? And I loved every second of that, and that was beautiful. And then COVID-19 came along and screwed it all up. Yeah, COVID-19 came along and actually said, you know what? We're going to get Stephen to work from home. Right, great. Brilliant. I'm going to see the kids more. But actually, you guys have seen me more than my kids have on certain days, right? Some days I'm talking to the team more, I'm talking to clients more than I've actually seen my kids, right? And that's a big thing for me. And coronavirus has really, really, it hasn't affected me physically in terms of the illness, but it has affected me up there. It's affected me. Yeah, because if I'm brutally honest, I've missed my kids like crazy. I've missed my wife like crazy. Hence I'm talking about the vulnerabilities, yeah? And I realised that actually, you know what, I've got to spend time with them. But I had a decision to make, and that decision was, as a business owner, I had to help my team, but I also had to help my clients. And the quicker I could help the team, not that they could help clients quicker as well. Yeah. So we have a twice a daily briefing, team meeting. Yeah, so we do one at 9 o'clock in the morning. We have one at 4:30, just where we get everybody together and we say, right, how's it going? Has there been any announcements, any problems, anything we need to get out to our clients? That way, everybody's researching what's happening with COVID-19, with coronavirus, and we're all working together to do this. We're all helping each other. It was about 2.5 weeks into it, maybe 3 weeks into it, where a couple of clients who know me really, really well turn around and they asked me that question. A question I never wanted to hear. And that question was, are you all right? Mm. And I went, yeah, I'm fine. And they went, tell your eyes something else. Now, those clients that really know me know that actually I might say whatever, but my eyes never lie, ever, right? And my face never lies, to be honest, right? I can't lie for toffee. But actually, those clients that knew me really well actually asked me that question. And that question really hit me. And it was only in the last week that I've actually started to open up to a few people and said, you know what, I really miss my kids like crazy. I opened up to my wife a week and a half ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago. And I actually went, you know what, I know I need to do stuff, but actually by the end of the day, typical days, I come into this room at 7:30 in the morning, I was doing, and I was leaving this room at 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock, whatever time it was. And one day I remember, not last week, the week before, leaving here and actually going upstairs. And I text my wife, how crazy is this? I'm afraid to say it, I'm ashamed to say it. I actually text her saying, I don't know what to say, but I'm really, really tired. I'm really, yeah, it was this point where everything was just getting on top of me as an individual, as a business owner. And I wanted to help everybody, I wanted to support everybody. But actually, I didn't know what to say. And instead of going in and going, Kate, can I have a word? Actually, I didn't know what to say. So I sent her a text going, I don't know what to say, right? Because she kept saying, are you all right? Can you talk? Can you talk? Well, by the end of the day, I was done with talking. I had no more words to say. Yeah, I talked, I thought all day. And that to me was the big thing. So I then realised, and it was on Monday this week, a good friend of mine turned around and they actually said, you know what? You can't say no. And I went, sorry? He went, you can't say no. And I went, hang on a minute. And they reminded me of that time when I was sat in the pool. And they reminded me of the time that I said, you know what, things are going to be different. And they went, it's calmed down a bit now. You guys have done pretty good. You guys have helped a lot of businesses. Yeah. You can't start to say to the clients, I'll speak to you tomorrow. So instead of taking the call at 10 o'clock at night, just say, is it all right if I speak to you tomorrow? Yeah. Because actually, probably can wait until the next day. And what I did is on Monday, I actually started to say, you know what, actually, can I catch up with you tomorrow? So instead of sitting here and doing all the calls that I should have done, because they'd come in at between 4 and 5 o'clock, doing them 7 till 8 o'clock, I sent them all an email or a text message saying, are you all right if I ring you at 10 o'clock in the morning? And actually, nobody objected. And I went, well, all right then. So actually, I suddenly realised that actually, if I do put my oxygen mask on first, if I do actually say, you know what, give myself time to breathe, the oxygen mask analogy is very good and very apt. But if I do give myself that time to breathe, then actually what I'm getting is the ability to actually talk to clients more, getting more effective at what I'm doing. So from a family point of view, we haven't cracked it. Yeah, I haven't cracked it. My wife's totally cracked it. Yeah, she's homeschooling, she's looking after Jessica, she's looking after Lucy. She's coming in every couple of minutes and giving me loads of drinks and water and food, and yeah. I hear the kids outside in the garden playing. I miss my kids like crazy. But I think as a family, my wife's doing a hell of a lot better than what I am. Yeah, in terms of the family unit. But me personally, I've probably spent more time on the business, which I'm ashamed to say, but I felt it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, I totally get that. I think, I remember having a conversation with one of our clients who was looking to transition. This is right at the very beginning, when first announcements were made. We're in lockdown, social distancing, all of that, and they just came back and said, "That's it. My business is it's completely gone. I might as well just give in." And you'll know who I'm talking about. And the conversation was, "Well, look, can we move some of that online, and can you do kind of courses online and show people how to do this stuff?" And one of the comments at the time said that, you guys must be, working all hours that God sends you, must be knackered and all that kind of stuff. I said, you know what? Immediate reaction, I think you and I are very similar. The immediate reaction is, don't worry, let's just get through this and then we'll take a holiday, then we'll sleep, then we'll sort it out, then we can all kick back, have a beer or a curry or whatever it is, but let's just get through this. let's give a bit of clarity to people around certain things, and then once that's done and we ease through it, then we can deal with it. And I think you and I were very much the same on that. But you're right, you do, and we have, 7:30 in the morning, you start looking at your emails and you plan, and we've had, as a business, we've had that transition of not just helping clients transition to online and doing all of that and giving some guidance where we can, but we've also had to transition our own business. Yeah, we're very much office based, but in the mix of that, we've also taken over another practice, and then had to deal with all of that as well as everything else, and then bring other people to new systems, new processes. I mean, how we transitioned our phone system. It wasn't perfect in any way, shape, or form, but how we transitioned our phone system from desk based to online through, so that people can get it on their laptops in literally within less than 24 hours. Just we would never have done that before. Yeah. But and a huge shout out to the guys at Aspect Voice who helped us do that. But we couldn't have done that, and probably wouldn't have done it if the circumstances hadn't been the same. But I think you're right. The balance between the family work-life balance is so important, and it's got a little bit blurred. But I think we're starting to see those green shoots. But it doesn't mitigate that we can't ignore it, and we've got to deal with it.
Yeah, and I think it's also not just about me and you, Darren. It's about the value team as a whole. During the furlough period, when we were processing all the applications for the furlough applications, where I was texting some of the payroll team, well, all of the payroll team, who am I kidding, at midnight, saying, will you please turn your computer off? You're tired, you're knackered, can you please turn your computer off? I'm worried about you. So as business owners, we want to help, but actually our team want to develop. They want to develop, but they want to help. Right? They're so passionate about actually making sure that the clients get that money through. It's not just Stephen and Darren doing all this. It's actually the value team. It's Kevin who's looking after his clients and Kevin's team looking after theirs. It's Nicola, it's Danielle, it's Johnny from a payroll point of view. It's Lindsay, it's Eloise, it's Sharon, it's Eileen, it's everybody. There's not one person in the whole of the team that I can say has sat back on their laurels during this. Every single member of that team has really worked their socks off. They've busted their guts. I paid the wages this morning, right? And I don't know if any of the value team are watching this. I paid the wages this morning, right, to the team. And do you know what? I was amazingly proud to press send on every single one of them. Because as I was thinking about, I was typing the figure in and I was pressing pay or send, whatever it is, on the Barclays app. I was thinking about all the wonderful stuff that Danny had done with his clients this month. I was thinking about all the amazing stuff that Chloe had done. I was thinking about the money that Nicola, Danielle and Johnny had actually got in the client's bank accounts. I was thinking about the businesses that Lindsay and Eloise have saved. And everybody across the board, Jackie, Sue, everybody, they've all done an amazing job. And to me, that is where the praise needs to be. And I know people do put on the comments, thank you very much, Stephen, thank you very much, Darren, for all the work.
But it's the team at the end of the day, isn't it?
It's doing this stuff. It's actually, my mum used to say many years ago, behind every good man is an even better woman. You know what? If it wasn't for Kate, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. If it wasn't for Lynn, I suspect you wouldn't be able to do a lot of the stuff that.
No, absolutely no way, mate. Absolutely no way. Absolutely, at all. I couldn't do that. And it's true, and it's the same for us as a business. We couldn't do it if we didn't have the right team in place. And the sacrifice, and I'll use that word, choose carefully. It's not just a word I pick up. That there's sacrifices they've made in terms of their time, their families, and everything else that go through it. But I'm so proud of them because of what they've done with being agile, and the fact that we've asked them to adapt the way of working. They've thrown themselves at it. You mentioned there we have a daily catch up. I can absolutely attest to that. 9 o'clock every morning, people are there, looking at the hot topics, what's going on, issues, what do we need help with. The afternoon ones tend to drift, if I'm honest, into a little bit of anarchy with a little bit of bad jokes and dad jokes coming into it.
Just yours, Darren.
Okay, yeah, primarily from me. Okay, but we it is about just having not so much the serious moments, but also those light-hearted moments, because we recognise everyone is human. there are times when people have a bit of a wobble, just purely because they're so conscientious about what they want to do and how they want to serve clients and do the right thing, and that's fine. You know, we can't always have a good day. We're going to have bad days at the office, no pun intended, but it is going to happen. You know what? And the team have just rallied, and the support that the team have given. So, yeah, if any of the team are watching, from the bottom of our hearts, I'm sure it's not you know, you're not going to be unaware of this, but we're just so grateful for everything that you guys have done for us as a company and for the clients. You've made such a difference.
I've got a request, if that's all right.
Yeah, right? Go for it.
One of the things that I say to every single client who turns around and says, you know what, Sharon did a good job, or Eileen did a good job, or whoever it is, I say, can you do me a favour? Can you please just put it in an email, right? Can you send it to us? Because we've got a kudos page on Workplace, which is our local, our intranet. If anybody watching this feels like any of the value team have done a good job,
tell us about it now.
Tell us. Put a comment on there, right? Put it as a recommendation. Do whatever you want to do. We'll pick it up, right? Tag us in it. We'll pick it up, right? But name the client manager. Name the people who are looking after you, right? Yeah. Not Stephen, not Darren, right? Name the people that actually do the stuff, right? And by the stuff, they're the ones that are making the real difference, totally. Right? And I would love to be able just to, when we get back, I don't know, this is just a daft Stephen idea, but we've got loads of white walls in the office. I would love to fill one of those walls with all of these.
I'm going to call it now. I'm going to call this the wall of wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's create that wall of wow, and let's have this content up there as that. And they deserve that. That's absolutely spot on. Because I know when this all first happened, they were so scared about their own job security.
Yeah.
And when we remember that conversation about all of this, and the fact that we even had staff members come to us and say, look, if you're struggling, don't worry about paying me.
Yeah.
And that, to me, spoke volumes about the culture we have and how vested those staff are. Kelly, awesome. Thank you so much for that. Danielle was fabulous to sort my payroll out. I am new to you guys, and you're all amazing. That is perfect.
Kelly,
thank you so much for that. We will certainly make Danielle aware of that. That is absolutely phenomenal. So thank you very much for taking the time to put that out to us. But yeah, I do remember that. They were so scared about what this meant for them. And to say something like that, I know it really touched you. And I think they were also worried that we were going to have to make some tough decisions around that. Yeah. And fortunately, we've not had to do that. We've got great customers as well as great people.
Yeah.
And so that's been really useful for us.
And I think that probably takes us on to one of the other points that was in the blog as well, which was called reviewing your budget.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we did was, you may recall early on during this whole whatever journey. I guess that's what it is, isn't it? We're all on a boat. We're all in different boats, but actually we're all riding the same storm right now. We're in different sized boats and doing different stuff, all of us, yeah. But actually, one of the things that I did talk about was the moment that it was Danny, right? I'm going to call him out. It was Danny came to us and said, look, if you can't afford to pay me, don't worry about my mortgage, right? Don't worry about paying me my bit. I've got my mortgage deferred. Everything's fine with the world. Thank you. And I was blown away. Danny, I hope you don't mind me calling you out on that one. But one of the things that I've done as a business owner is I've actually done a budget. I do a budget every year for the business. I review that every month, every quarter. But I've actually broke that down onto a daily budget because I wanted to know that actually we were all right for month end. We had a point whereby if enough people cancelled direct debits, didn't pay us, then actually I would have to take the decision to furlough some employees. But actually, our clients have stood by us. We've done a great job, a good job. And we managed to get through it. And I was so proud today to actually be able to pay every single one of those wages without any deductions. I was delighted, yeah? But I knew that was the case yesterday. And I knew it was the case the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that, and the day before that. And we have had a couple of clients that haven't been able to pay us. That's okay. We've accounted for that, right? We've amended the budget. We've adjusted the budget to make sure that something else went in its place. We haven't gone out to our suppliers and said, you know what, we're not going to pay anybody. We've paid everybody. Yeah,
but we have gone through that exercise of looking where, if we needed to, we could look at saving some costs.
Oh,
As
100%.
a business, you have to do that. Of course we do. But you're right.
100%. 100%. We did early on. IT software, we use so much IT software. And early on, you and I, Darren, we went through it and we said, right, well, what are we using? Do we need this? Do we need that? No, call it. Yeah. And we're going to see some benefits of that next month, because some of them have final payments to make, like 30-day rolling contracts. We didn't catch it last month. We'll call it this month. So 1st of May onwards, we won't have those payments to make. Sometimes we overlook the really obvious stuff in terms of our budgets. And this is personal and business as well.
Yeah.
But sometimes we forget that actually we've got a £20 direct debit here, a £30 there, a £50 there. Those 3 direct debits, what do they add up to? £100, right? £1,200 a year. What do you get for £1,200 a year? Well, actually, that's a good contribution towards a family holiday. Yeah, from my mentality, yes, because that's what I want, is time with my wife and my kids.
Yeah.
It's a good, it's bloody good meals out. If you're a foodie like David at our place, yeah, it's whatever it is. Yeah, £1,200 is not a little amount of money; it's a big amount of money, and it's 3 direct debits. It's doing exactly the same on the personal side as well. My neighbours and I were talking the other day, Rich and Catherine. They were saying that they'd cancelled Sky Sports. One of the other neighbours, Laura, we said, well, we haven't cancelled it yet. And they were saying, well, it's crazy. Why not? And the answer was, well, we want the sports when it comes out. And it was like, well, actually, if you cancel it, you downgrade it now, you're not paying for the next 3 months, you upgrade it then.
Yeah.
Actually, how many of us have done that? Not that many.
Yeah, it's about interesting when you start looking at some of those discretionary purchases and what do we need, and you add it forward. And we've been doing a lot of work with some of the guys at Mint through the business club, as we've done about the budgets and everything else, and it does come through that. Harry Connaissance just come through. I can't unfortunately post it onto the stream, but Harry's just come back and said, many thanks for the support that Eileen and Daniel have given us through these uncertain times. They've certainly added value to our business. Harry, awesome, thank you very much for that. That's brilliant. If there's anyone else, has been a shining star through this process, let us know. We want to get this added to we've now just created a wall of wow for value when we can put this content
I think it should be a wall of value.
A wall of value.
Or you are value.
You are value. Valued wall, whatever it is. I think I like a wall of wow, because it's just like bang, you just help people. Yeah, coming back to budgets, absolutely awesome. We've had to do it. It's hard, but we did it. I think the other thing for us is, not only was it useful to go through that exercise anyway, but it also allowed us to plan our priorities. That was the other key thing. It's not that we're like any business. We want to invest, we want to develop, we want to continue to grow. But there are certain things that we've just literally had to put on the back burner for now. We will get to them, but we've just had to rehash our priorities around this. And for us, I think certainly our priorities were one, families, team, and then clients. I think it was definitely about that, because without in that order, it sounds kind of selfish. Perhaps it hasn't played out that way, but that's certainly how it's been. We've had to look after clients. We've got to look after the team, and we certainly need to look after ourselves and our families. So, that's been really interesting for me to look at that. But I also think, what were the key biggest challenges for you over the last, from the business point of view, apart from kind of paying people? What have been the biggest challenges for you through this process as a business and some of the transitions that we've done?
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges for me was a simple word, or such a massive word, uncertainty. Yeah, it was exactly the same as what clients are experiencing now. You're not sure what, you don't know what you don't know. Yeah, we know that Boris is going to make an announcement tonight. I walked out of here, popped the toilet before I came and said this. Kate turned around and she went, oh, well, we're going to get another 3 weeks tonight, aren't we? Well, actually, probably not. Yeah. Because he's not going to announce another 3 weeks tonight. He's going to tell us that we should all stay indoors. We should all protect the NHS and the messages that we've been getting every day in the bulletins. Boris is standing up. He's making an announcement today. Congratulations on having a baby boy and everything there as well. But I think it's the uncertainty of, we don't know when we're going to be able to go back to the office. It's the lack of control. I think potentially is a phrase there, but actually it's the perceived lack of control, right? So it's actually turning around and saying, you know what, I can't control when I can go back to the office, right? I can't control that, but I can't control my mindset about what I do, because I can't go to the office. Yeah, Nigel talked the other day about the sun still comes up every day. Yeah, the moon's still going to come up every day. Yeah, we're still do all that sort of stuff. Yeah. I haven't taken away everything else. Yeah, I'm still living and breathing, thankfully. Right. A lot of our clients are still living and breathing, thankfully. Yeah. There is uncertainty, but I think a big chunk of it is this perceived uncertainty about the stuff we can affect. Actually, let's take back control about what we are in control of and what we can affect. And we are in control again of our little bit, our circle of influence. I think Simon Sinek talks about. Yeah, we can control our circle of influence. What we can't control is the external stuff. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. I think it is about managing your bubble, wherever that bubble may be, and whether that bubble is at home or whether it's in the office. You can only control the bubble that surrounds you. Like anything, we can only control how we react to the scenarios that are put in front of us. But I think you do touch on something that's really important. It is that perceived lack of, I won't say lack of control, but that control being taken away, that decision being taken away from you, the ability to make that decision. I know I've personally found it, having worked from home for many years, and being on the road, and then going back into an office environment has been a hard transition. To then come back out to working from home, because again, there's another set of disciplines around that. It's it's too easy to get up. I mean, whereas before you get up, get dressed, get out in the car, go to a meeting, you're still dressed for business in the world. Whereas now you can just slam it and put a t-shirt on. And not that we're a business that likes to be formal and stuffy, and we will wear t-shirts occasionally and all that kind of stuff. But that separation from house and home. Where work life starts and finishes, that decision has just been taken away. And I've found that hard, and just really struggle sometimes to shut that door and say, right, I'm now 100% in work mode. And that's not to say that I don't want to sort of see Lynn and spend time with the dogs. We do. Fortunately, we've been getting out and about first thing in the morning, walking the dogs, and that's great for clearing the head. For our kind of exercise, but it has been very hard. It's that sense of just having the inability to make that decision, say, hey, I want to go to work, I'm going to drive to work 40 minutes. And I think the other thing is, and someone was talking about this on the radio the other day, it's that downtime, that time when we finish work, we get in the car, drive home, whether it's 10 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes, it's 40 minutes of time we can have to decompress and almost prep ourselves and sort of get out of work mode and get into home mode, and just let the dust settle a bit before we get home and spend the evening. Whereas now you're just getting out of one room, going into another. You don't have that decompression. So it's been very, very hard. And I think that's the thing for us about the team, and how they've coped with that has been absolutely admirable for us. Where this will be, I don't know. No one's going to have all the answers to this. Whether it's a contact tracing app that we all need to suddenly take on board and use, is that going to help us increase the speed and pace of which we can start to then go out more? I don't know. What I do know is that there's a brand new paradigm of norm that we're all going to come out with.
So I'll be really keen to know what everybody else has done to take back.
Yeah, that's a great segue, mate, I tell you.
I'd love to know what everybody else has done. For example, today I took back control to actually wear a shirt. It's the first time in 4 weeks that I've wore a shirt. Now, those of you that know me at work, I kind of go through spells and I go, yeah, I wear a t-shirt and I wear a jumper. And then actually I think, oh, you're a scruffy git, wear a shirt. Yeah. I'd normally have a jacket knocking around as well. I tell a lie, actually I did wear a shirt. I wore a shirt 3 weeks ago. I was doing a panel thing for accountants, and I actually wore a shirt and a jacket. And I suddenly went, actually, the jacket needs to go. Yeah, and I threw that over there. But most of these, I wear a jumper or I wear a hoodie or whatever it might be. But actually, I took back control. I had a shave this morning, and I put a shirt on, right? And my kids turned around and went, are you going to work? Right? That spoke volumes to me, yeah? When Lucy turned around and said, are you actually going to work today?
Yeah.
Are you going? Yeah, I was like, whoa, no, I'm actually, well, yeah, I'm going downstairs, yeah? Well,
so maybe that's a good question. What's been the kind of new norm and new norm for you guys? What have you kind of reinvented yourself as, and what have been the biggest challenges for you through this whole process? That would be interesting to hear some comments coming back on that.
Just while we're doing that, Darren, as well, one of the things that we did do, you mentioned or you alluded to the work that you're doing with Mint in terms of budgets and planning, and things like that. One of the things that you did as part of that session was you actually you used a template, which is just an Excel document, a very basic Excel document that people could key in their income and then their expenses, and it give a projected bank balance and things like that. It didn't take account of day-to-day credit days or anything like that, i.e. how long it takes to get paid and you pay your supplies and things like that. It was just simple in and out in a month. If anybody wants that as well, put that in the post below.
Yeah, just put budget in the comments, and we'll get a copy of that sent out to you so you can have a look at it. I mean, for us, I mean, one of the things I think I'd certainly like to do as well, if people want that, is maybe this is where we can offer, a business planning session. Where we get these guys. If anyone's interested in attending a business planning session, let's do it online. Let's bring it in. Let's do what we've done for the Mint guys, and let's bring it in as a valued course if people are interested in that. Maybe if people are interested in business planning, more than happy to offer that as a course for people to jump on online and talk through that. It's probably a couple of hours of time, but I think we certainly had exceptional feedback from the delegates that came along to the one at Mint, and doing that, it really kind of got the grey cells thinking about that. So if you're interested in business planning, just put business planning in there. If you want the budget spreadsheet, let us know. But again, what have you found? Yeah, absolutely, Kelly. More than happy to help you with that. Zoom. Somebody said Zoom. Zoom's been a huge learning curve. I think I know who that is. The name hasn't come up, but I can probably guess who that is, just by the amount of emojis that come with the back end of that as well.
Does that put some fitness on it?
I've got a feeling it might do. It takes a few seconds for the name to kind of pop up. But yeah, Kelly, if you're interested in business planning, drop that and I'll get some details out to you. Yes, actually, it is to do with fitness. Thanks, Jamie, very much.
Okay, so I promised Jamie if she stuck her head above the parapet, mentioned anything, right? She posted something just so I knew she was here, right? I promised that I would tell everyone about a wonderful course that Jamie's running. Now, Jamie, for those that don't know, is Jamie Moran Wilson. She runs Jamie Sports Therapist. Jamie, please post a link below to your website and to your Facebook page, right? That'll save me from doing it later on, right? It means I get to see the kids, because you told us I had to see the kids, right. So anyway, right, for those that don't know, I sat on the train with Darren for 3 hours down to London a good few months ago. And then, because I sat in the train in one position and I didn't move my leg, I ended up damaging my leg, right? So I ended up with 5 physio sessions, right? Went off to a physio. It was all going great. It was fine. It was and yeah, blah, blah, blah. Jamie then seen me at one of the accounts meetings that I had with her, and she turned around and she went, "You need that looking at." And I went, "It's sorted." She went, "It's not sorted. You're not lined up." I went, "What?" I've had one session with Jamie. One session, right? And Jamie came into our workplace, because part of what we do, because we care about our employees, is we'll bring Jamie in once every other month. Sorry, it feels like she should have been.
It's overdue now, so
yeah, it's overdue. It should have been here yesterday, right? We've got it planned in for May. Hopefully, if Boris lets us all out, we'll be able to do that. If Jamie can start working and doing that sort of stuff with the hands-on and everything. But one of the things that Jamie was telling me about as well is she's running a course on a Monday night. And it's basically a self-massage course. So it's where you're not feeling well, right? You've got aches and pains, and I'm getting it again in my leg because I'm sitting on this chair for far too long. And I've got my kitchen chair here, my normal office chair sitting over there, and it's actually hurting my leg sitting at this desk, the wrong height or whatever it is, I don't know. Yeah. But actually, Jamie's running a course, right? £6.50 per week, and she's basically going to make sure that those aches and pains go away. I think it's lower body, which on Monday, which is perfect. Sort my leg out. Thank you very much, Jamie. Last week, I think she was doing back, shoulder, upper body stuff, right? So please join Jamie's course, right? Jamie, by now, you better have put a link up below, right? I can't see it, so I'm really hoping you put a link below there. All right.
It'll come, but you do realise that if now you've said that, I'm going to have to do Monday night's course as well.
Thank you.
I'm going to have to do it now.
But actually, is that not a great way of pivoting, right? And I hate the word pivot, right? What the hell does pivot mean, right? It's a bit like advisory services to accountants. What the hell does that mean? Right? I've got no idea. Right? Go back to the blog. Right? We talked about your resilience is your priority. Right? Jamie is being resilient. Right? So instead of actually going out there and saying, I can't ever work again, right? Because of coronavirus, I can't get off my backside and actually massage and do all the treatments and do a kickboxing classes and everything that she normally does. She's doing it online now, right? Now that is extremely resilient. It's fantastic. It's brilliant. It means that business is still going, right? I've had the honour of hearing Jamie today. Right?
I've just been warned now. If I'm not there, it's a fist. It's fighting. It's fighting talk now. So thanks, Jamie.
So it should be. So it should be, right? But if I've had the honour of hearing what Jamie had done, right, and how resilient she was. We were talking, I think it was 2 sessions ago with Nigel and Jeff, where we were talking about TJ, who's my barber up at Amble. I go to Marmaris 66 up at Amble. I've got a static caravan up there. I can't wait to get back up there. I was going to do the buzz cut. I was going to go for Darren's haircut, right? Took him ages to get that, right? But I was going to go for the buzz cut. I got the clippers. Actually, you know one thing. Hang on a minute. Press stop. I've got a decent head of hair for 44, going on 45. I don't want to lose it by going for. Daz might have tried that a couple of years ago. He might have gone for the shortcut, and look what happened to him, right? So I messaged TJ and I said, TJ, what do I do, right? And he rang me on Facebook and he talked to Kate, my wife, through how to cut my hair, right? And Kate actually gave me this haircut, right? Does that mean I'm never going to go to TJ again? Absolutely no chance whatsoever. It means that he pivoted his business and now he's got a very, very loyal, extremely loyal customer who talks about it all over the place. I talked about it on Jeff's session, on the Nigel session, on today's session. Nigel and Jeff actually talked about it on the session that they did for the hospice the other day as well, on Friday last week. Yeah. He's got loads of exposure on it. Why? Because he pivoted, because he was resilient and he did something different. And that to me is just perfection. Yeah, it's where we're saying, you know what, I can only cut the grass so many times. I can only decorate the walls. I can only do the stuff that I've done in the house so much. I need to do something different. And sometimes, Jamie, you're a perfect example of this. We need to actually get off our backside for that mental stimulus. We need to actually say, you know what, I need to be working. I need to feel like I'm contributing, because actually cutting the grass, that does nothing for me, right? I want to spend time with the kids, but after a while, they'll just get on me wick. Yeah, I love them, but yeah.
That's really good. There was a question that came through. Sorry, it's come up as anonymous. Someone says, I think a lot of people have had to adapt quickly, make mistakes and learn from them at pace. Are there any lessons that you've learned and habits that you've established that you'd like to keep going personally or professionally once lockdown is over? Stephen, I'll let you take that one first. There's certainly a few things that I could probably talk about with that one.
So what do I want to do differently? I want to get rid of 3 clients. Right? I want to get rid of 3 clients. These 3 clients have not listened to advice. They've been nasty to my staff. They've been on the list for ages. Yeah. If I was to have a list of people I don't really want to work with, these 3 have been on the list for a year and a half. Right. Those 3 people will be gone. Right. They will be gone. Right. Because I will help them through this. I will support them through this. But after that, yeah, end of the road as far as I'm concerned there. Other thing I'm going to do, I need to find a way, and I don't know what this way is, and I would love some comments again for this. Yeah, I need to find a way of saying thank you to my team, right? I genuinely do. I've got all of my team's Easter eggs sitting the other side of the settee, right? Not one of them has been eaten, right? I remember on the Thursday before Easter, and Darren, you were part of it, right? And said, right, look, we've got everyone's Easter eggs. And Lucy and Jessica did a little montage, yeah, and there was a picture and all that sort of stuff, yeah, and it was support the NHS, thank you, team valued, and all that sort of stuff. And they all went, yeah, go on, let the kids eat the Easter eggs. Stephen will have ate the Easter eggs. Actually, we haven't touched one of them, right? But it's not enough to give back to the team. I want to do something special to repay every single person in the valued team, to say thank you for everything that they've done, right? I'm not sure what that is yet. I haven't had that idea yet, yeah. But I want to do something to help them. But it's not just them, it's their families and the work and the commitment that their families have put up with as well. Yeah, I want to do something so that every single person that's connected with value to get some benefit out of it. And I don't think that's a financial thing. I'm not sure if it's a time thing. It could be a holiday thing. It could be something as basic as we'll go out and have pizza, something like that. But we need to do something. I'm not sure what that is yet, but we will do something there. I'd love some comments about what people think we should do there as well. Other things I'm going to do, I'm going to work from home a bit more. Bizarrely, I'm going to work from home a bit more. Right? I'm sick of working from here, but actually, there is days, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, where I will be able to come and I'll be able to do my job. I work more effectively at home. I know that. I'd get through more at home. Sorry, I get through more work at home. So I'm going to do that. But I'm actually going to start to work at home a little bit more than what I used to. I'm going to make damn sure that I drop Lucy off at school and Jessica off at school. We might drop Jessica off at nursery for the last time before COVID-19.
Yeah, I remember.
Goes out, she might be going to school. Yeah, that's life moments. I want to make sure that I embrace every single life moment, and I want to say yes to more things as well. But I want to also do things differently, right? I want to do value differently. So I've thought a lot about what our direction is and where we want to go and where I want the business to go. Those that know me have heard me always recommend two books. I recommend Start with a Why by Simon Sinek, and I recommend Will It Make the Boat Go Faster by Ben Hunt Davies. I promised to buy people these books, and guess what? I bought the books. I've got a load of them. They're sitting over there, right? And coronavirus turned up, and I haven't been able to hand deliver these books, right? So I've got a whole pile of them sitting over there. I want to make sure that I give those books to those people that I promised. But the Ben Hunt Davies, the stuff that Yvonne Allen had told me about, I want to make sure that our gold medal, what our end goal is, every single person in the team knows. Yeah, I want to make sure that we're all working in one direction. Yeah. So, what about yourself, Aaron?
I'm just going to just before I come back onto that, but a couple of comments have come through as you were talking. So, Jamie's just said, "Got to go, guys," but thanks very much. He's put the link in there as well. So please, if you're interested in joining that session, having a look at Jamie's Facebook page, click on that link, have a look. She's awesome. Stephen and I will be on the session on Monday if you fancy joining us. That's a shout out specifically to the boys, but ladies, you would also be welcome as well, but click on that link. Harry has come up with a nice suggestion. Have a nice family fun day. It's a knockout when social distancing kind of environment. It's when social distancing shifts back into some form of normality. So that's a really nice post, a good suggestion there, Harry. So thanks very much for that. I don't know. One of the things I want to come back to is your comment about thanking the team. I'm not going to speak on behalf of everyone, but certainly we never entered into this, and I certainly didn't work with you just to get some form of reward on this. I think sometimes people just need to say thank you and mean it and be sincere about it. I think that's the kind of team that we have. There's not anyone there that's kind of looking for financial or other reward through this, but we recognise when we all need to step up the job that needs to be done. And I think sometimes you just need to step back and be the person that you are, Stephen, and just say, you know what, guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And that's enough for a lot of us. If you don't want to take that further, blow it up, go for it. But whatever that may be, just from us, I think a simple thank you would be nice. But whether that's over a cold beer down a pub, that's more than happy. Always partial to a curry, that. That's the official response. Is you don't have to do anything but say thank you. But the real me is going, a curry would be good, mate.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you were thinking.
Akbars, here we come. That's what I want. But I think you touched on something really important. I think again it comes back to choice. I agree. We've probably, and it's not just me, I think we've all worked harder than we've ever worked before in the office. It seems that we're being more productive than we've ever have been. Turning stuff around quicker, faster, better, leaner, whatever you want to call it. Is that because we're working from home? Possibly. Does that mean that actually we think about what we're doing a little bit more? And we're conscious that we're communicating in a different way, a better way? Possibly. But whatever it is, I think it's all proved to every single one of the team that we can do it. that technology exists to enable us to do it. I think what we've realised now more than anything is how much we value that personal interaction.
Yeah, 100%.
And that to me is scheduling. Time management has got better. We've learned that we've had to schedule time in online, so we've got stronger at better communication. People are turning up on time. We're a lot more succinct. It's even given me time to, you know what? The one thing for me is meal times are sacrosanct. That half an hour to an hour that you spend having a meal together, whether it's breakfast, whether it's lunch, or whether it's dinner, is just everything to me. You know, the world disappears. It's just me and Lynn, and that's it. And that's what's great. The time we've had a coffee, you know, together when I've had to drop stuff off. Yes, we've maintained social distancing, but just the ability to kind of be 6 foot away from someone and looking someone in the eye, that's been amazing, and I value that more now than I ever have done. I think it's also made me think about all this stuff and all the shit I used to take for granted. The fact that I could if I wanted to just walk down the beach when I wanted to. I can't do that now, but you know what? I just took it for granted and didn't appreciate it. But absolutely, just that human touch is definitely for me the big thing that I miss.
I think it's also the stuff you take for granted, but you actually realise what's important as well.
Totally.
And Adam at Spirit, asked me for a quote about coronavirus and what it meant and everything. And the quote that I said was, coronavirus, COVID-19 has made me realise what's important. And it is, yeah. And actually, some of the stuff that you do, you go, you know what, actually, I don't need that in my life. Yeah, some of the material stuff, we don't need that in our lives, yeah. I actually sat there on Amazon the other day and I was going to buy like a desk tidy stuff for my computer and all this sort of different stuff, and I didn't buy it, right? And I didn't buy it because I went, well, I'll be going back to the office shortly, and I won't use it at the office. But then I went, actually, I don't need it anyway. Why do I need this stuff? I don't, yeah? And how many of us have actually gone out and bought new bits of IT? How many of us have gone out and bought new chairs for a home office? Yeah, I'd love to see some pictures of people's home offices and what they've created.
Maybe that's the thing. What's your home office setup? Share your home office setup in the comments. Take a picture of it and share it in the comments. That would be really good. You know, one thing I have really wanted to buy.
What's that?
It's going to sound really crazy. All I want to buy is a set of garden furniture. I want a small two chairs and a table that I can put on my decking. Because the picnic table went boots up, and I haven't been able to go and get one yet. And that's the only thing I want to buy. And you know how crazy I used to be at tech.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not interested anymore. But I do want two chairs and a table for decking.
Yeah.
And that's it. How crazy is this flipped?
Yeah. Because we have realised what's important.
Totally.
Yeah, totally realised. I think the other thing as well, that it's not just about us, but I'm going to go on a limb here. We've got a new gentleman joined us called Michael Mann, yeah? And just before we went live, I said to Darren, have you seen a workplace? And Michael's posted a picture, yeah? And I'm going to read it out if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it actually says, thank you to #valued for the lovely card. It made Mrs. Mann have a few tears. It made me have a huge smile. I'm grateful for you all. Sorry, I'm choking up here. For your support and your kindness, knowing the fact that I've not known you for long, nor met the majority of you in person. Simply amazing. #team valued. And there's a picture of little baby Henry there in the card that was done, right? Michael, I had nothing to do with the card. It wasn't me, right? It was Danielle. Danielle organised this card. Danielle organised everything.
Michael's just come in. He's listening in, actually.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Sorry, Michael. Right? In which case, Ireland's all right, honestly, right? But congratulations again, Michael. But you know what? Actually, I'm going to share a bit of Michael's story here. Michael actually worked for another accountancy firm until the beginning of April, right? He's actually been part of the Valued team for 1 month. Yeah, that's all he's been part of the team. He's on paternity leave now. I'm going to kick his backside for actually watching this. Go look after your baby. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Memories are important. Time's important for the babies. Yeah, go and do it. Right? You know what? Actually, he's part of Valued. Yeah, I actually had a decision to make. It was one of those big decisions. Yeah, everything was blown up. Michael actually texted me. Sorry, I don't know if I've told you this, Michael, right? But Michael actually texted me, Stephen, what's happening? I can start a little bit earlier, right? I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I've got a business. I don't know, do I need them? Can I have them? What? Right? And I took a moment to breathe. Remember, I talked about that a while ago, yeah? Took that moment to breathe and thought, hang on a minute. I want them before coronavirus. I want them after coronavirus. Therefore, I'm damn sure I want them during coronavirus, right? But I'm going to go on paternity leave. I don't care, right? You join Valued. We know we've got you for a little bit of time. You're going off. You spend a couple of weeks with baby Henry there. Go and spend those weeks. But I don't qualify for paternity leave. I don't care. You're still getting paid for it, right? Sorry, Michael, I shouldn't have said that. But you know what? Actually, I think it highlights how important Michael is to Valued. Yeah.
I think
now,
it's just about being transparent, and we've always said.
You replied.
But we've always said about transparency, and one of the things we've always had in Valued is transparency. The more transparent you are, the better alignment, the shared vision, values, and everything else that we've got, and that's what it is. But yeah, the good numbers. The good thing was, Michael, I say this with a smile on my face. The budget was there to support it, mate. So you're okay. If you come a few weeks after, it would have been happening.
Of course it would.
But that's it.
With the merger with Oxley.
Oh, Kelly, thank you very much. Michael will be so pleased with that. Congratulations on the birth of your new baby boy as well. That's awesome. So very much for that. Michael McGee says you've picked a fantastic team. Michael Mann, another Mike in the team. There you go. It's going to get confusing now.
It is. Michael. Right. Well, I think we started with the whole discussion about family and putting family first. Yeah. It's to me, the family is the people that I've got in this house. It's also the people that I've got in the Valued office, but it's also that community, that handful of people that we class as our family, right? Our extended family, our really close friends. And that's one thing that I have learned about COVID-19 and coronavirus is actually who is those close friends? Who have I really, really missed? Who have I actually right? We were talking last weekend again with Richard and Catherine last weekend, and they were saying, have you heard the news? We're going to have 10 people we're allowed to associate with. Who's your 10 people? Oh, actually, my 10 people were Kate's mum and dad, right? Kate's mum and dad I very rarely see because normally I was getting in from work as they were leaving and I might get a quick bite to eat. I've really missed them, really missed Kate's mum and dad. Bill and Catherine, if you're listening, I suspect you're not on Facebook, so chances are you won't be. If Polly is or whoever, feel free to tell your mum and dad. But I've also missed some friends as well. And I can't wait to go and give some of my friends a hug. I can't wait to give Darren a hug. Yeah. Now that's a big 6'4" bloke just going, you know what, actually, he might want a beer and a curry. I just want to go up with my mates and give them a hug and say, you know what, I've really missed you.
And moving on.
But I think that is one of the things as well, is we've realised who is important to us during this. So what else have we got then? So we talked about personal asset planning as well, yeah? Now, let's not
how can we go from giving someone a hug to, let's talk about personal asset planning? That doesn't segue at all, man, for heaven's sake.
Well, you stopped asking us the question.
Here we go. Come on, there's got to be a flow to this. I'm trying to keep a professionalism, man. Come on.
We've been going for an hour, mate. Yeah.
Oh, it's descending to us. But I think, you everything you do for, it comes back to why are you doing it? What's your why? What's important to you? Of course, there's practical stuff we need to do. We know that. When stuff like this happens, you've got to look at your financial plan. Have I got runway for the business? Have I got runway for me, the family? Can defer the mortgage payments for 3 months and all that kind of stuff. There's practicalities, and I think that's what we've all been sat with for the last 3 to 4 weeks is just dealing with the practicalities of stuff. The fear, the basal fear of everything. What can I pay? Go back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Of what have we got? Food? Have we got shelter? And have we got that? That's all we want to make sure that we've got. Outside of that, everything's gravy. We want to be part of that social sphere. Now we've got through a lot of that. We've got the plan. We're seeing the furlough stuff come through. Of course, unfortunately, we can't help everyone. But what we have got is that those things that are right in front of us. Family, friends, that mean a lot. And sometimes we lose sight of all of that, of what the importance of that is. And we can look at have we got wills and all that? And that's very important. Of course, we need to think about that. But ultimately, we've sometimes just got to look 2 feet away from ourselves to see what's really important. And are we spending time with the people, and are we prioritizing that? And are we making sure that we give ourselves and them the oxygen that they deserve throughout all of this and the care? I think that's what's important. So, yeah, we can talk about the personal asset planning, but is that really what people want to hear from this point? Come on, we're human.
Yeah, we know.
If you segued it better, then definitely I'll talk to you about it. But you've just ruined the segue now, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Right,
if anyone else has an opinion on that, let me know. If you really want to talk about asset planning, please put it in the comments. We'll let you know.
Please don't, because I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I think to be honest, from a planning point of view, yeah, it is then just actually more important to say, right, well, what is your priorities right now? What do you need to do? What's the immediate things that you can actually change? What is your that moment when Boris, and let's be honest, it is Boris that's going to stand up and go, get yourselves out now, go and enjoy yourselves, right? But don't enjoy yourselves too much, right? You're only allowed to see 10 people, or whatever method it's going to be, yeah? Whatever that however he lets us all out anyway, yeah, whatever that's going to be, yeah, it is Boris that's going to tell us that. But actually, as Nicola Cook was saying in her session, are we ready as business owners to actually get that upturn, to get that growth that could happen for businesses? Yeah, what are we doing now that's different? So people like Jamie that are doing the online training now, does that mean that when we're all allowed to go out again,
that just stops? Yeah.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, Jamie and I have spoke about that today. You've got Craig at Niltoni, one of our wonderful clients as well, that had put a post on.
Yeah, Craig was in a Granger Market delivery, wasn't he?
Yeah, Granger Market. It was fantastic. Yeah, he was saying that he couldn't actually get any delivery slots from Tesco or Sainsbury's, wherever it was. He was trying. He lives in the city centre in Newcastle, so he walked along the Granger Market, and guess what? Everything was full. Yeah, the Granger Market was loads of food, but actually no one was doing anything. So he organised a delivery service for the Granger Market, and that's just absolutely phenomenal. And imagine all the traders within the Granger Market that he has helped to develop, to grow. Actually, will all of that change when we come out of coronavirus and this lockdown? Hopefully not. Yeah, because people are going to be different. The new normal is going to be different.
Yeah.
So actually, let's make sure that whatever we're doing now that feels right, we keep it going. We don't just say, actually, we're all free and we scrap all the good work that we've done.
Yeah.
Because the good work that we're doing now can actually lead to different growth in the future.
Very true. One question I've got for you. Coming back to post-lockdown, what's the first thing you're going to do? Wow. Oh, God, there's an existential question. I'm going to pose that to all the listeners as well. Put in the comments, what's the first thing you're going to do once lockdown is over?
I'm going to have a barbecue.
There you go. Maybe that's the way you say thank you to the team. There's a thought.
There you go. I'm going to have a barbecue at mine. And the reason I'm going to have a barbecue at mine is because I don't think, sadly, that bars are going to be allowed to open straight away. There's all sorts of different time frames being sent about bars. I don't know what people's opinions were yesterday of Tim Martin, the CEO.
Mr. Weatherspoon.
Yeah, Mr. Weatherspoons. Honestly,
Kelly, I think you've got the right idea. Go out for a lush meal. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, maybe join the barbecue at Stevens. Come down to Stevens. Come on, we're all piling.
We won't be able to go to pubs straight away. Yeah, so I want to have a barbecue and invite all my friends and family around. God, I think I've just agreed to actually cook for as many people that want to turn up at my place.
Yeah, so the community has 400 odd members. The 400 odd people are turning up to Stephen's house. Sausages and burgers. Michael's going to see his mum and dad. I think so many people are going to do that, but that's a cracking idea. Who else has got? For everyone else? What are you going to do? First thing you're going to do post lockdown. That's the question of the moment. What are you going to do post lockdown? I really want to go and walk around the beach. That's the one thing that gives me sanity. I have this thing for the water and surfing and diving and all that kind of stuff. And I really want to get to the beach and just take my spaniel to the beach because that's the one thing he loves to do is run and run and run and run and run. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. Is go down there with my wife and my spaniel and let him run. So, and hopefully get a really good cup of coffee in my favourite coffee house in Whitley Bay as well. Show my son the better world we've now created. Whoa, that's deep.
Who's that one? Oh, that's good.
Guess. Come on. Who we've just been talking about? Michael. That is deep. That is lovely. That is
brilliant. Michael, I nearly cried when I read your post before.
You set him off again. You'll set him off again.
Yeah. I might be 6'4", but I'm quite emotional.
But that's brilliant. Isn't that awesome? Show his newborn son the better world we've created.
You know, is that not part of it though, Darren? Because I know, like, I'm a daft Geordie, right, or whatever. The bloke of a certain age, whatever. Yeah, and even basic things like recycling. Yeah, I'll do it because I've got a bin. It's convenient. Yeah, I'll do that. I didn't really care about it before I had Lucy and Jessica, right? I had Lucy and Jessica and thought, oh, actually, next generation, better be careful now, right? But actually, yeah, it wasn't really high on my priority list. But actually, like carbon footprint and all that sort of stuff, yeah, I've gotten the lines already on holiday. I don't really care. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Yeah, I think they've added a few quid in the air flight for it, but I don't really know. Yeah, wasn't that fussed to that stage. But actually, I seen a post again on Facebook. It sounds like I spend most of my life on Facebook. I genuinely don't spend most of my life in this room. But I seen the post on Facebook. I think Jason at Blue Kangaroo posted, or his wife had, Melanie, and it was about Mother Earth, and it was basically saying Mother Earth was here before coronavirus, and it showed all the things that were getting better. So the skies that you could now see.
Yeah, when you look at the waters around Venice that are now clear because they're not silted up because of the traffic, all of that, absolutely.
Yeah, and it was all of this stuff. And I just thought, you know what, actually, this is 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or 7 weeks, or however long all of the different countries have been doing it. Yeah. And look at the difference to the Earth already.
Yeah.
And Michael, I think you're onto something there.
Yeah,
that's definitely something.
Yeah.
Of actually, every one of us can make a little difference. And if we make that little difference, then what impact does that have overall?
Totally. So yeah, we'll keep the comments open. If there's a few more people who just want to add what the first thing is they're going to do once the lockdown is over, we're really keen to get that. How you top Michael's showing his newborn son the better world we've now created. That's top trumps. That's just everyone's out the game. I'm out. I'm folded. It's mic drop, isn't it? That one, which is awesome. So I love it. Yeah, I think the other thing, that's interesting because, we've got so many amazing clients and lots of stories to tell. You've just chosen a few there. Craig at Neil Tony, Jamie and what she's done. You talked about some of Jason, what he's done there. I'm really keen to get some of our clients talking about their own stories as well. So if any clients are on the group that want to share a story, come on here, you can share that. Let us know. We're happy to interview you. You don't necessarily have to show your face, but obviously that would be great. But we'd love to share your story and just understand a little bit more about you. What was your why? What do you do? What have been the challenges? And how you can learn and inspire others? Let's not focus. I think the key thing for me is just focusing on the positivity now. Let's start really building that momentum of positivity back. We've got through that stuff now. Let's start, helping each other and supporting each other. And if we can learn just from one thing or a few things that people have done that can inspire us to do things differently, better, for the right reasons, I think that would be really useful. So if you are interested in doing that, again, let us know in the comments. Just put customer stories and we'll reach out to you separately and have a chat with you.
Do you know what? People probably will go, no, I'm not doing that. I haven't got a story. My story's not good enough.
Everyone's got a story.
Everyone's got a story, right? A few years ago, 3 years ago, I think it was, something like that, 4 years ago, we created a thing called Punch Above Your Weight. Some of you might have attended. Yeah, it was an event. Others didn't actually realise that it was created by Valued and it was something that we did. But Punch Above Your Weight was actually about getting business owners to stand up and just say what they'd done differently, how they'd punched above their weight, how they'd actually got off their backside and done things differently. Yeah, we did that. We had about 40 people turned up. The first one, I think, at St James's Park. 70 the next one, 100 the one after, something like that. And then we did a one with Jeff Ram. And I think we had 240 people turn up for that one. And then the plan was we were going to do another one. Yeah. And the next one is going to be in October this year. It's booked in. And our keynote speakers are Jeff Ram and Nigel, right? Nigel Risner.
September, wasn't it?
Yeah. September, sorry. Yes, September. It is. Darren, you're right. Yeah, September. Whew, right. So we've got that booked in, right, for September. But part of that is, I'm giving all the game away here, part of it is we're actually looking for clients that we can actually get up on the stage and share their journey, just in a 5-10 minute interval, just to say this is what I did differently, just as a motivational tool. And we're going to spend it as the whole day, Nigel and Jeff talking from a professional speaker about all of their learnings throughout the world, but also from business owners, just standing up and saying this is what I did differently. Yeah, because actually what we'll find is that all of us can sit there, can read all of the books that we want to read, but sometimes hearing that little nugget from a business owner just turns us on, just switches a switch and just says, you know what, actually I can do things differently. And we've had some amazing speakers.
We have in fairness.
Over the, but what I can guarantee is every single one of them, with the exception of Jeff Ram, did not want to do it. Every single one of them, right? But every single one of them put the big boy pants on or the big girl pants on, right?
I didn't think you were going to say that. I really didn't.
Well, I can't segue, so I'm doing this as well.
Oh, yeah? That's a Dazism if I've ever.
Yeah. Yeah, Daz, I don't want to see any big boy pants. Thank you very much.
I wasn't suggesting that for a second.
But actually, they got up and they did it for the right reasons. They did it to motivate and to help, right? So if anybody does want to help, it'd be delighted. I'll be delighted to be able to interview you. Darren will be delighted to interview, I'm sure. And just to get your story out there. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, however long it happens to be. It's irrelevant, yeah?
Plus, it's also a cheeky way to promote your business. So, hey, who wouldn't want to do that at this point in time? Cool. Right, so we've not really had any more comments coming through. I think Michael's capped it at that comment about his son. So obviously, Michael, thanks very much for tuning in, mate. I hope Henry's all right. Catch up with you on the next team call. But ladies and gents, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for this slightly unusual live. Not talking about anything to be updated, but we just wanted to share some thoughts about one of the pieces that we put together that was getting a little bit of traction on the blog. If you want to read that, you could just simply go to value.co.uk/blog and just look for the article about looking after your family and team through the lockdown. So have a look at that. There's also quite a nice little link there to a little bit about budgeting and also for I believe how to keep you running during an emergency as well. So some good tips on there for you as well. But thank you very much, Kelly. You're very welcome. Harry, thank you very much for some of your comments as well. Love having you with us. But yeah, and you continue to keep them through. If you're watching this on replay, again, just get involved in the comments. Let us know. Share what your workspace looks like. Let us know what your challenges have been, how you've overcome them, what that means for you and your teams if you're working with a team. But more importantly, let us know what's the one thing that you would do the first thing you're going to do post lockdown being lifted. So thank you very much, Stephen. As always, pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for your hour. We've just been on nearly an hour and 15 minutes. This was only scheduled for about 40, but once we get on the roll, that's it. Awesome to have you here, mate. Appreciate that. Anything you want to say before we sign off?
I think the only other thing, very, very quickly, is we did put a post on the group before about Monday Marketplace. So starting on Monday, we'd be delighted. We're going to start a thread there. We'll be delighted for you to actually sell your products on that thread. So please tell everyone else in the group what you do and how we can help you.
Mondays only. Just use the hashtag Monday Marketplace on the business community. Put the post on there doing that. Wednesdays is Wednesday Wins, I believe. That's also, again, any little things that you've got that you want to shout out to other people, let you know what you've been successes, however minor, whether that's just getting out of bed, putting your socks on, winning a new client, varnishing the fence, or whatever it is. If it's a win, put it on there, share it on there. And Fridays is all about fun. So let's finish the week on a high. Boris is on in 10, Harry Senior saying, so we better get off for that. Let's see what he's got to say. But guys, thank you so much for your attention this afternoon. Pleasure to speak to you as always. Stay safe and we'll catch up soon.
Take care.